Okay, so if you're watching this video, you've probably already seen Chad's review of the Cameradactyl Cajones, the DIY or assemble at home flat pack camera kits for 4x5 and 8x10. I'm just going to do a quick run through of what they are, and then we'll build one so you can see how they go together. They're flat pack kits, so all of the money you would pay me to assemble, you save and you assemble it, and it's pretty fun for you to assemble one or two. It's not fun for me to assemble 500 of them. They're designed, they're designed to be strong. They're designed to go together and use a minimum of tools. You basically just need wood glue, some rubber bands to hold them together. It's nice and square because of all these box joints. It just fits together in the right shape and size. Optional, but recommended, is a little bit of black spray paint for the inside, a little bit of sandpaper for the corners once you're done, and I like to finish mine with Danish oil or mineral oil. It gives it a nice smooth luster and makes it a little waterproof. They're pretty simple. They have standard 4x5 back flanges or 8x10 back flanges to fit standard film holders. They've got these shutters that open and close. You put an extra rubber band on one of these shutters, and then when you open them, they will pop closed, but unnecessary. You can always just open it and push it closed. Yeah, they have a 1/4-20 tripod nut here and here, so you can mount it to a tripod. They will also eventually take, I mean they already do, but eventually I will release the 4x5 and 8x10 self-developing backs, which fit in standard 4x5 and 8x10 film holder flanges. They've got a little slot for the flange so that they don't leak light and that this guy can't shake out. You know, they're nice and tight in there. Those will be coming out soon. Anyway, I'm just going to do a quick assembly guide. I'm not going to glue up the camera because that'll take a while, but you can imagine putting glue there, and I'll show you the steps to assemble it. Yeah, here we go. Oh, one more thing. They come in, the 4x5 comes in 90mm and super wide 45mm focal length. The 8x10 will come in 135 and 210mm focal lengths. If you really want a custom focal length and are willing to buy 3, send me a email and I will make a custom set of 3 of those at some reasonable price. If you want 5x7, 11x14, 16x20, or 20x24, send me an email. I think we can work something out. I have a workable model. But for now, I'm just going to release these 4, which are the 8x10 in 2 focal lengths and the 4x5 in 2 focal lengths. Let's put the camera overhead and put one together. Here we go. So first I'm going to show you all the pieces and then we'll put them together in order as if we were gluing them. This is the back flange. This little slot here is what this ridge on a standard film holder will fit into, blocking any light without the need for gaskets or anything that will wear down all the over time. So we've got the back flange. We've got 2 of these light seals along with 4 of these light seals, and we'll see how they go. This guy is put together with box joints, and so it will always be perfectly square even if you assemble it without tools and clamps and all sorts of things. But the tolerance of the box joints can often lead to a light leak, so we've got all of these seals that make sure that doesn't happen. This is the shutter assembly. You got a little button here and a little stop. These glue together, and later that will be screwed onto the front of the camera. I'm going to put that aside for now. These are the tripod nut holders. They go like this with a cap on them, and they will capture a 1/4-20 nut so you can screw your camera to a standard tripod. And there's 2 sets of these, here and here, and that's so you can mount the camera vertical or horizontal. I'm going to put these over here for now. Then we've got the sides of the camera, all 4. These are the long sides, and these are the short sides. these are the sight lines. They have forward and reverse sight lines, so if you like sighting from here to here and here to here to see what is inside of your frame, you can do that, or I like to look from here out like a traditional viewfinder. They have both. And they're on all sides of the camera body in all sizes. The one I showed earlier was a earlier prototype, which really only difference is this one does not have those sight lines on it yet. But everything that ships will ship with these sight lines. Okay, so these will go here, and then you have the front of the camera. Everything is white maple ply, which is pretty stable and very sturdy, easy to work with, and I think beautiful. Once you stain it, it should look like this, or any color you want to paint it. Alright, so let's put this thing together, and one thing of note, the 45mm version of the 4x5, the 135 and the 210, 8x10 all assemble exactly the same way, they just have different sized pieces. So I like to start with the film gate. I am going to assemble it like this. You can assemble it both ways. I want the film holder to come in on the left side of the camera when it's facing away from you. You could assemble it the other way. So the first thing I'm going to do is stick this film gate down through here, and then I'll put the sides on. The tripod mount goes away from the, oops, this guy's upside down. Want the frame lines on the outside. The tripod mount goes away from the place where you slide the film holder out. Then this guy goes on here. Again, you're going to want to use glue carefully, but you don't need any clamps to hold it together because the box joints should fit perfectly to within 1/3 of a millimeter cut by the laser. Okay, and then the top goes on here. Oops. Let's put the frame lines on the outside. That is the top of the camera body. I'm just going to stick a rubber band on here for now. I recommend rubber bands to hold them while it's gluing. If you don't have clamps, that should be fine. I'm just going to rubber band it so that it doesn't fall apart while I am doing this. Okay, so once you have that all glued up, you've got your back flange for a film holder to fit like that. Make sure it fits while the glue is drying. Then the first thing we're going to do after that is take one of these light seal flanges with a thick side on this side and glue it down in here. That's going to make sure that no light leaks around the edges or through this slot for the rib on the dark slide. Okay, so now that that's in there, we're going to glue in these corner light seals. Doesn't matter whether they go, doesn't matter whether they go horizontal or vertical in here. Either way, they will block the light. Anyway, they go like that in all of the corners. Oops. This would be easier with glue, but okay. So these go in here, and then the front light seal goes on top of that. This time it doesn't matter whether this large side goes left or right. They're identical pieces, and so that'll fit right in there. Taking your time is helpful if you are gluing it and trying to do a nice job. Then on comes the front plate, just like that, and glue it up, and you're almost done. So once that's done, I'm going to flip it over. These guys get a captured nut that sticks in here. They get glued together, and then they get glued to the inside with the nut lined up with the hole. I find it's easiest to do if I take a little tripod screw and screw it into the nut while it's drying, and that way I'm sure that it will be aligned when it is dry. And I do that here and here. And again, there's 2 plates to hold the nut. Make sure they're aligned like this and not like that. Not like that. Align them like this. And then the cap goes over to make sure no light leaks in. Those glue in there. Then you can take your shutter assembly, which you've glued the button on already first, and mount that with a screw, which is included, and a nylock nut to the body right here. You can change the tension of that screw and nut for a very tight moving shutter or a very loose one, depending upon what you like. And then I would glue on this stop so that the shutter will close and then open, just like that. And we can see that on the finished one, oops, right here. So, yep. Then after that, optionally, I'm going to sell these with some overpriced custom drilled pinholes, which you just tape in the back here with some black gaffer's tape is what I recommend. You could glue it in, but I like tape because then you can remove it and replace it with a different size pinhole. Or you can make your own pinhole for free with a soda can and a needle or a PCB drill bit. Once these are done, I like to sand the corners just so they're nice and smooth, kind of like this one. You don't need to, it's not a functional thing, but I like to. Just some, 150 or to 300 grit sandpaper works nicely. And then I like to finish them with Danish oil. Again, this is the same wood, but it looks, darker and more lustrous with Danish oil. I like the natural look, but plenty of people will paint theirs and come up with crazy color schemes and whatnot that I have not thought of. Then on the inside, I like to paint the inside black so there's no reflections. Again, not 100% necessary, but it's a nice thing to do. Pretty cheap and easy. I use some black spray paint. You can use really anything. You could even use a Sharpie marker. And that's it. You're done. Pretty simple camera. Buy it now at Cameradactyl.com. Again, like I said in the video, I will sell these on Cameradactyl.com. I think I'm going to sell them starting at $40 for a flat pack kit for 4x5 in either focal length, and $80 for a 8x10 kit, maybe $85 for the longer kit. It uses a little bit more wood. And if you're willing to buy 3, I will make custom length pinhole cameras, and if you want a 5x7, 16x20, 11x14, or 20x24, send me an email. We'll work something out. It's Ethan@Cameradactyl.com. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to see some cool 4x5 and 8x10 pictures coming off the internet soon. All right, have a great day.